Well, hello everybody. It's what is this? It's Monday night and welcome to the Paris Procopa show. I'm Paris Procopus and you're not. Uh it's sorry to get on so late. It's been an interesting let's just say it's been an interesting half hour of my life right now. There's a lot going on. I'm going to bring on my friend Charles Way onto the show as well. It's been a while since he's been on. And I have to figure out why I'm not getting any sort of audio here, but we will see. So welcome. Hello, Darlene. How's it going? And let's get Charles on the show here. Hello, Charles. Welcome.
Hello. It's been a minute.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way for the moment because my headphones are being weird. Bear with me a second. All right, so now it's going to go on and connect here. Wow, my Bluetooth headphones aren't even there. So, well, we'll figure it out later. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way and talk to you through the speakers here.
Awesome.
This is like outsider art, but shitty. Okay, der Wiener.
You know what I got? The big gamer setup with the big headphones.
Oh, I could put on the big headphones. There we go. How you doing there? How's that?
There you go. We're both rocking them.
Yeah. Be nice to my neighbors there. Hey, can you hear me? There we go. Okay.
What?
Oh, well, what? Well, I haven't had you on in a while. Anything going on in the news lately?
All kinds of stuff.
It seems kind of boring. Well, before we get into stuff, and I'm not sure if you saw this, I just posted it. Let me share my screen over here. Let's go here. I just shared an article, and I'm kind of taking it with a grain of salt, but it's because of the source.
Have you shared it yet? Because I can't see it. I might have to go into your...
I haven't shared it yet. I'm going to share it right now. Let's see. Application window. Let's share my... This is a breaking news story. Unfortunately, the source is the Gateway Pundit. Sometimes, every once in a while, they strike gold.
Yeah.
I'll give the credit. Every once in a while, but they're saying that this software glitch will effectively erase his lead.
I've seen this. This was in Michigan. This is where this story originated from.
Yep.
And it actually did affect a bunch of boats in Antrim County, I think.
Yep. But apparently this is looking at the county here. What county is this? Is this Walworth County?
That might be Rock.
No, it's got to be Rock County. Yeah, because Walworth, this is Milwaukee.
Walworth that's Walworth right there.
Yeah, interesting. Well, there's some other things regarding Wisconsin that I'm looking into that I can't really talk about, but that I'm going to write an article or ask a friend to write an article on. It's kind of an investigative journalism piece, so she'd be a little more more competent at writing something like that. I'm more of an editorial writer, so I just enjoy writing and talking about stuff. But
I wish I had the time.
Yeah, time. What's that? Other than the thing between paychecks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean that's interesting. That you showed there at the Gateway Pundit. Like I said, it's not only in Michigan, but apparently like the Dominion software, right? From what I've heard, it's like they use the same software in like 33 other states. So honestly, this election has gotten to the point where I think like every state that's in play at least needs to go through a statewide audit because no one's going to believe anything if that doesn't happen. Now, I know, I mean, you probably saw what I've shared to you, what the Wisconsin legislature is doing with their oversight committee. Now, I don't know if that's just waving their hand or if they're actually going to do something about that. I don't know. And then same thing with Michigan, too, and Pennsylvania is following suit as well.
Yep. Well, speaking of a couple of my friends who are in the legislature, there's a couple people that are wanting to dig deep.
Yeah, the state senator that I text is saying the same thing too.
Yep.
But he was also surprised that Voss did what he did. So,
which and the whole thing, well, the big question is he doing it for show or is he doing it to actually make a difference? Yeah,
nothing against him, but he's like the most moderate Republican out there. I mean, that's why we didn't rescind the mask mandate was because of Voss. He was scared of the polls, from what I heard.
Yeah, it was one of those. I think the other, I could say, oh yeah, well, Evers is trying to get us into a battle like that to rev up the base for the election,
right.
or something. And I could see both sides, but in the end, when you have a track record of not being very aggressive, this is just one more thing that makes you not very aggressive. And sometimes you just have to do the right thing. And if you lose the election because of it, so what?
Yeah, I mean, it's only 20,000 votes. I mean, anything could really, an audit, I hope people understand this, like a recount, that's not going to change anything.
No,
it's not
recount
more than like 100, 200 votes tops. The audit, that's where you get into the meat and gravy and mashed potatoes of the entire election. And that's
you're just not matching tapes. Because there was a sheriff's election. This was back at the primary in 2018. No.
I couldn't tell you. In Milwaukee or what?
Yeah, in the Milwaukee County, for Milwaukee County Sheriff, where it literally double counted Democrat votes.
It wasn't for Morales, was it?
No, Morales is a police chief. But the Republican or the Democrat in there, the Democrats just got double counted, and then they found it. They found it through canvassing, and it got fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But it never, are we still having that same type of software glitch? And I struggle so much with the Gateway Pundit because they're just
Yeah. I mean, they were the ones that were going like hard on the Hunter Biden stuff, like even when it was like just fresh off the airwaves, really. And I'm like, this is the only outlet that was going with it. I'm like, I'm gonna take a step back a bit before I give this the full go here.
Yeah. Well, I posted it just so I'd remember to talk about it.
Right.
But in the end, it'll.
But yeah, that's something that they said that, like I said, it was that originated out of Antrim County in Michigan. They said, just Michigan, 47 other counties use that same software. So from what I heard, Antrim County had put originally 6,000 votes for Biden, but when they fixed the glitch, those 6,000 votes took away from Biden and they tallied those on to Trump. And it made someone that was losing their election win their election. I think it was a congressman or something.
Oh, interesting. Well, and this was Michigan, you said?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Antrim.
And there's a whole lot going. And people, and I'm trying to caution people: be patient. Of course, you've got Whoopi Goldberg. You lost. Suck it up. Just like we sucked it up. You never sucked up anything, Whoopi Goldberg. You wouldn't shut up about the election. In fact, up until election day last Tuesday, you were still fighting the 2016 election. So don't hand me that crap. So sorry, Whoopi gets under my skin.
We got two top things when I type in Antrim County Dominion. The top two headlines are Antrim County figures prominently in elections conspiracy theory, and then the next headline. That was from the Detroit Free Press. This one's from Bridge, Michigan. Human error, Dominion voting equipment fueled false fraud claims in Michigan. Then AP says officials clerk error behind county results favoring Biden. Let's click that one. I think AP is relatively believable, hopefully.
To a point. At some point, you just have to report the news. It just.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here if it gets into the nitty gritty in terms of numbers here.
Well, looking at this, the time frame, looking back, it was probably before you were born, but with Bush versus Gore.
Oh, I was born. I was 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, shut up.
So didn't understand anything, but
But Al Gore, the media's like, you got to be just like Al Gore and graciously concede. Yeah. They took 36 days of recounts and dangling chads and dimpled chads and nippled chads and hanging chads and whatever chad you could think of. and then they kept on saying, well, this recount, we didn't win with this recount, so let's count it a different way. And they kept wanting to count a different way. And finally, the Supreme Court stepped in. It's been done. We counted. We recounted. The counting is done. He had no choice but to concede.
He had no other option to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, with everything that has been going on, like, just all, like, I mean, I've been paying attention to all the press conferences from, like, Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, like, all, like, the Secretary of State's coming out and, like, giving their updates and stuff like that. I mean, first and foremost, I don't understand why we're 6 days after the election and still people are counting. Like, I mean,
Arizona, what's with that? That's
I mean, the lead is still chipping away. Last time I checked was like an hour ago, and apparently there's still 43,000 votes outstanding, and Trump's only down 14,000 votes right now.
Yeah. Oh, and get this. CNN has actually pulled it out. It's no longer blue.
Yeah, they've had that pulled for the last couple of days now.
Oh, I thought they still had it up there.
They at least 2 days ago it was pulled. I don't understand why Fox had it called right away. And we might get into this tonight, but how we both feel about Fox, but
that's a whole conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. I'm sure we'll open at some point tonight. But yeah, I don't understand how it's taking 6, excuse my language, damn days to count all these votes in smaller states when we've had states like Texas and Florida all have their their results in, tallied, boom, done, 2 hours. Even
California's done, I think.
They're not done. They're mostly done. But
I don't know what's going on with Alaska. I know it sucks that Trump's only at 62%.
And North Carolina,
that is way too close.
North Carolina.
They don't want to call any states for Trump because it gives him credibility.
They're not even counting North Carolina. They stopped, I want to say, on election night, and I don't even know if they gave a reason or what the reason for is, but they literally said, okay, we're not going to – they're at 98% reporting. I think Trump's leading by, I want to say, 76,000 votes or something like that. It's like 1.5 or 1.6% above Biden. Same thing for Tillis versus Cunningham. They say, yeah, we're not going to finish the counting to the 12th. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, that's what, 4 days away from today?
And that's actually, that's wrong the way they're doing it. I mean, it's bad for the country. 74,000 votes.
You're talking North Carolina?
Yeah. And then Georgia obviously still has some votes to count yet. Their military ballots and stuff like that. So I don't know what's taking so long there. Arizona,
they had the same computer glitch thing too, allegedly, in Fulton County. I mean, what's like I said, so all this stuff, it's all been coming at us like just heap bits here, bits there, bits here, bits there from all these other states. Every state's like having some kind of issue, some kind of problem, And I've been skeptical of everything. I'm not some conspiracy theorist kind of guy. Like I said, that's why when we got the Hunter Biden stuff from the Gateway Pundit, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. Like you said, with the story that you just posted. But now, as of today, they're coming out and swinging with these sworn affidavits under penalty of perjury. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start to believe that kind of stuff because, I mean, you wouldn't put your name to something under penalty of perjury if it was just some BS.
Yeah, I mean, especially if ultimately Biden ends up winning, now they're going to be on someone's shit list. They're putting themselves AOC out there in a very dangerous predicament. Huh?
That's AOC shit list, or
Oh yeah, that I'm sure I'm on that list.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, now they're talking about in the comments. They're talking about, hey, Nachos is on, Stephen Finn is on. How's everybody doing? Darlene and Dave Miller. Oh yeah. When all the proper vote audits are done, I believe John Jabes wins Michigan and Purdue wins outright.
Yeah, I think he's down, I want to say like 130,000, 140,000, I think.
Right. And that's what they're talking about. And I think the goal, Giuliani was talking about today, something like 400,000 votes. He effectively wants to get disqualified
from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I think. Again, don't quote me on this. I think it's around 100 to 130,000 from Michigan too. Because Michigan, Detroit was where you were seeing those videos of them putting them big freaking like pieces of cardboard after they pushed all the observers back behind the glass.
Oh, you mean the pizza boxes? They cut up pizza boxes and they were taping them to the windows.
Pizza boxes. These were like cut out cardboard, like huge. Like the guy had to literally stand up and like push on the thing for it to stand, or like to stand up and stay up on the glass. They're not pizza box. These are huge cutout pieces of cardboard. Let's see. So Michigan, so 720,000 to 636,000 is 3619.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure if they can show, if they're showing the. Yeah, I'm looking for a video of the guy taping the window. Nah, it's not coming up.
I can find it on Twitter, I'm sure. So okay, so never mind. He's down. John James, or
yep,
John James is down 87,052 votes right now.
Oh, that's come down already because he was it was over 100,000 at one point.
2,723,619 to 2,636,567.
Great point. Dave Miller says, just hope the retailers leave the plywood up. But yeah, it's funny how that works. Oh, okay, our guy won, so we're not going to riot. That's just it's okay. Let them riot. Let them kill each other. I don't care anymore. It's just I'm just done with all this, the threatening and everything else.
Martha McSally is down 82,000, so she's come up a bit, but I think she's a lost cause. I don't know why she's such a. I mean, she must be just that bad of a candidate to have lost.
She was lousy.
Yeah,
she was a lousy candidate. She should have never been reappointed after she lost to Sinema. And they should have appointed someone different who could be the one that could carry the torch, which would have ultimately helped Trump then too.
I mean, I'm trying to look at the 2016 results. Like I'm trying to compare Pennsylvania, going back to Pennsylvania, trying to compare 2016 to like the two counties that are going to be in question, Philadelphia County and Allegheny County. I just cannot, just the math doesn't come out to be.
I know people who live in Pennsylvania and live in those areas, and they said even in Philadelphia, you were hard pressed to find Biden signs.
Yeah,
I mean they were there, but they weren't as prevalent as the Trump signs in this person's opinion. It just seemed.
I think statewide as well as nationwide, I think no matter what happens in this election, if Trump can't pull this out with his legal battles or whatever, and Joe Biden ends up becoming the president or whatnot, honestly, for us to have a chance, we need to put like, I know it's still in our platform, it's still in our mission, like to get this up and running and passed through state legislatures, et cetera, but voter ID needs to become a legit thing. Because if we don't have voter ID, I mean, this is basically, in my opinion, their trial run with this.
Oh, yeah.
If it works, why not do it again? Why not keep trying? Like whenever we get into something like down the road, like mega legislation or whatever, like they were doing with the coronavirus bills and stuff like that, they're filling it with all this pork and stuff, which included like basically sending everyone in the United States a mail-in ballot or whatever. They're going to keep trying with this because if they win with Biden here, a really a candidate that really isn't a candidate in my opinion, because Sleepy Joe, I mean, they'll keep doing this. They'll keep doing
I'm just glad that we have Donald Trump, because you know what? Anyone else would have conceded.
Oh, and I've been talking today too with people at my work and over the past couple of days, but even today, he's running again. I can almost guarantee you, if he loses, you can bet your ass he is running, and that is scaring other GOP people, because I mean, just fundraising, people filing their paperwork. It's like the base for Trump, like no one's gonna want to run because he's basically got it. I mean,
Oh yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Well, think about this, though. You know, the thing that really gave me a moment of pause, and I really thought, yeah, maybe it's time for Trump to concede. It was when, of all people, Dan Quayle chimed in, and I was like, oh God. And he said, you know, it's time to move on. You know, thank you, Dan Quayle. You touched me here, my friend. You touched me here. Okay. And the media is parading Dan. Of course, I'm being facetious, guys, but the media is parading him out there like, see, Dan Quayle says we should step. You know, the guy that they destroyed him when he was vice president.
They parade. I mean, they did it with Mitt Romney, John Kasich, everyone that they hate. You know, at one point, they've said all kinds of vile things about. The second they say something poo-poo on Trump, oh, this guy, great. This is the Republican Party. I'm glad that the Republican Party is probably more than likely not going back to the Republican Party of John Kasich or the Republican Party of Mitt Romney. That's where you lose.
Well, and they make it seem like even Chris Christie it was throwing Trump under the bus. So I went back and it's like, why would Christie say that? And he basically said, okay, to Trump, we need to see the evidence. That's basically all Christie said. Oh yeah, see, he says Trump should, and if he doesn't have the evidence, yeah, he should concede. We all agree that if there's no evidence, you know, and what are you going to do?
I guess this might be the perfect segue for what I've been wanting to talk about this entire time. But so again, I'm doing my route today, and I'm watching the Neil Cavuto show or listening to it, and actually no, I was listening to Mark Belling. And Mark Belling said, okay, we're expecting a press conference from Kayleigh McEnany. And yeah, so literally they do the first 20 seconds, and the second Kayleigh McEnany alleges voter fraud, before they can even get into the details, cuts off. It says, whoa, we're not going to continue this. There's no evidence of this whatsoever. Until they can provide evidence, I can't, in good continuance, continue to show you this. And I'm like, oh, I'm done.
When did it become the media's role to do this? Yeah, you can say after he's done speaking, yeah, he said this, but you might want to take it with a grain of salt because there's some issues here. Okay. This is why X, Y, Z. You don't interrupt the freaking press secretary for the president.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's the president himself, especially. I mean, they do it with the president. I mean, they did it with when he was on election night, when he was giving his press conference on election night or whatever.
NBC.
They did the same damn thing. It was CNN too. They did the same damn thing and tried, and yeah, Anita's, or that's how you say your name. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with you. F Fox for sure. I want to give him a chance, but that was the last.
And also, yeah, F Fox and let's F El Delgado. Are you freaking kidding me? I know he's just messing with me, but I've been all over Paul Ryan right now because ever since Paul Ryan took over Fox News, he's on the board of Fox
I just don't understand. I don't understand their logic behind them doing this, because they are literally spitting in the face of their core viewership. That, I mean, other than these small up and coming like networks like OAN or Newsmax, et cetera, there is no other outlet for news, conservative news. There is no other outlet. Not yet. Like I said, you've got OAN and Newsmax. I think those are the things now, because, I mean, the viewership, I don't know if you've seen the ratings, but CNN and MSNBC, they're catching up, if not ahead, in the last ratings check. That's what I saw on Twitter today. I mean, Fox is tanking right now.
We're sending a huge message. The only thing I hope is that Tucker and Hannity can hang on, because I know they probably want to quit because of what happened.
You know, hey,
but right now they have.
I like those two guys. I like those two guys, Tucker and Hannity, but they can be, you know, if you're wanting the red meat kind of stuff, those are the guys you listen to. I think Tucker is a bit more, you know, not so much red meat like Hannity is. But the guy that I really like, that I feel bad for, is Bret Baier. I think Bret Baier is one of the most fair and balanced reporters possible. Everyone else in that show or in that newscast, I could give two hells about them.
Yep. Well, just saying, and it reliable. Yeah, they are reliable. They're not like we were talking earlier about the Gateway Pundit. That's one that's kind of what
like
I consider.
It's kind of
Them,
like in my
InfoWars,
opinion.
they can sometimes, every once in a while they'll strike gold with a really good story,
Yeah.
but sometimes they can be a little fringe. One American News is trying very hard to be a credible news source. And they don't, and I'm not saying anybody has to hold water for President Trump or any president for that matter.
Mhm.
All we want is balance.
I mean, OAN is given a White House press corps pass, so I mean,
Oh yeah.
it must mean something.
Yeah, it's giving Trump a voice. Newsmax has done. Newsmax used to be what I'd consider fringe, and now they're starting to become more and more credible with what they've done over the past couple years.
Mhm.
The other one, WorldNet Daily, is still kind of out there. I mean, and look, Drudge Report. God only knows what happened to Drudge.
Mhm. Yeah.
People say he sold it. Oh, The Blaze is definitely a good one. Glenn Beck, another one, and he's also a convert. He was very anti-Trump in 2016. Very
Mhm.
anti-Trump. And
Yes, sir.
now, and Mark Levin, he voted for Trump, but he was like, I'm going to vote for Trump because I hate Hillary kind of guy. But I have never seen him be such a staunch defender of somebody he was so lukewarm on just a couple of years ago. But Trump delivered. And it's like, and the Republicans they better wise up. Because right now you've got the Charlie Sykes and the Paul Ryans and the Scott Walkers of the world. Back. Yep, they're trying to take over again. And I'm sorry. And I took all kinds of shit today. I will not support Scott Walker or Paul Ryan for any future elected offices. They did in Paul Ryan's case, he did nothing to support or at least help get the vote out for President Trump.
I was wondering that. Like the Waukesha rally, why was Scott Walker not one of those guys that did a stump speech before
Yep.
Any of the other guys?
Because he's apparently secretly a never Trumper. I mean, he gave it we got the one time he said it in the entire election cycle is like, oh yeah, we got to get Donald Trump reelected.
I mean, he's all for the recount and stuff. Like he's telling Trump to do the recall or the recount or whatever.
Oh yeah. Well, he's gonna toe the line because he's trying to get back into the good graces. Because you notice he was very quiet, and then suddenly now he's starting to come back into the fold over the past 2 months, 3 months.
I mean, he doesn't. In my opinion, he doesn't need to because he's got that YAF gig, which honestly doesn't even kick in until January of this new year. Where he's the president of YAF. So, I mean, he's got a job. He's got a gig. I mean, I don't see him wanting to. I mean, at least in the near future, I don't see him wanting to get back into politics. Now Becky Clayfish, that's a different story. I mean, I think she might, and for governor, I can get behind her. She's a real. I mean, I don't know.
You might want to rephrase that, but no, she's.
Do I? Why?
Yeah, no, I'd get behind her too. But anyway, no,
she's okay. So your mind was in the gutter, and mine wasn't.
Oh no, she's beautiful. No, she's great. She's smart and all that stuff.
To her.
Yeah, but I believe that she's going to have a tough time because good, bad, or indifferent, she's going to have Scott Walker hanging around her neck. And Scott Walker really
think Scott Walker would do that to his running mate?
No, he wouldn't do it to her. The people of Wisconsin would tie her to Scott Walker.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to have a very tough time. And it's going to be a grueling primary. I anticipate there's going to be at least 6.
Who, other than that, I mean, the only person I see is the guy that's been honestly running for governor for ever since Evers was inaugurated or whatever it is, sworn in, whatever. The John Wickman guy
John Wickman.
I know you've had him on your show a couple of times, I think.
No, I had him on once. Interesting guy and stuff like that. We had the big disagreement is I was vehemently against the recall of Tony Evers.
Yeah, me too.
I questioned the timing of it. I think it took attention away from the.
Well, just think about it. I mean, think about it. I mean, interrupt you, but think about it. 20,000 votes. I mean, I get crap for it all the time because I really haven't done any phone banking or walking to distribute literature and stuff like that. But you know me, I'm active on Facebook and Twitter all the time, just being involved and then going to DC and things like that, being involved in that regard or whatever. But every single rally I go to, everyone's asking me and then asking why I don't sign the recall petition. I'm like, why don't you guys that are spending, like, you guys want to go out and do this, recall stuff, knocking on doors, signing petitions. Why don't you do the same thing for Trump? Because if Biden gets in, it ain't going to matter about Tony Evers. If Biden gets
game over,
it's game over at that point. So focus on freaking Trump.
Oh, I kept and the argument say, well, people can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah,
This is they can't. Let's be real. This is the electorate here.
Well,
most people can't.
Did you listen to Mark Belling today at all, or no?
I listened to a part of it, but I actually was one of the recipients of his letter. I'm on a very special list. Let's put it that way.
Did he mention you in that letter?
Oh no. Oh no, but I didn't see the
full listing, but I know.
Yeah, I'm on his good side because we've been. We're fighting. We're all fighting the same fight, and that's where I'm saying the Republican Party has to wise up because we've got to keep on this path. Donald Trump, regardless, win or lose, he's done more with race relations in the Republican Party. The black vote, he doubled his black
Hispanic vote. Yeah.
Yep. And the Hispanic vote, he got 50% in flipping Florida.
Yeah. 40, I think 45, but close enough.
Yeah. Well, nearly 50%. Yeah. And it just, which is unheard of. And nationally, I think he got like 32% or something like that, which was really high for a Republican.
The highest. I think it was the highest since the 1960s, I think.
Well, and he got the most votes ever for any Republican in history. Over 70 million.
Yep. He's let's check. He is at 71 and a half.
Yeah. And what? He got more votes than Barack Obama did. And Barack Obama, you got an argument. That was historical turnout.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand how Biden could get more of a turnout than Barack Obama. That just does not click in my head at all.
Yeah. Oh, people hate Trump. No, I'm sorry. Hatred of a candidate is not as motivating.
No, it's
because if that were the case, John Kerry would have been president. Mitt Romney would have been president.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But going back to, like I said, I listened to Mark Belling today, and I mean, one of the things that I agree with vehemently, we need to get our offices out, like our headquarter office out of Madison. I don't know why we keep trying. Every single year, we keep our headquarters in Madison or whatever, and we hire those people from Madison. And what Mark Belling said, like, hey, put it in a place like Grafton or West Bend. Like, put it in the WOW counties, because we're starting to slack on the WOW counties now. The WOW counties didn't perform. I mean, they performed, but not as well as they usually do. I mean,
Washington County performed very well, but Waukesha County did badly.
Orzaki, Jefferson.
He did good. To his credit, Terry Dietrich did a great job in Waukesha County. I mean, he kept it. I mean, they pummeled that area and did everything they could to get the vote out. But unfortunately, there's shifting happening because, I mean, we almost lost Elm Grove.
Yeah, was that was that the Bonnie Lee seat, or Bonnie Lee was running for that seat? Yeah. So she lost, and then Jim Ott.
Yep.
And then we picked up one, didn't we? Or did we pick up two?
No, we lost 2 assembly seats, but we picked up 2 or 3 Senate seats.
Yeah. Okay, state Senate. Gotcha.
Well, we picked up 2, and then Julian Bradley was able to hold on to Dave Craig's seat.
Right.
I mean, I'm glad Julian did.
Yeah,
Julian won.
Nice guy. I've met him, well, actually only once at the victory party thing in Pewaukee. Yeah, he was really nice guy. He's so down
to earth.
Yeah, he is.
The dead voted for one of their own. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But honestly, and you would think as Joe Biden, you're going to win. As any person could you handle living with yourself if you know that your side cheated to get you in office? That's got to mess with. I'm speechless. I mean, if everything goes the way it's going right now, I mean, if the legal challenges fall flat and everything like that, I mean, I'm not going to be like the left that screeches "not my president" or whatever, but like,
it's going to be tough to really have this sink in that Joe Biden is our actual president. Like, WTF to that.
Mitt Romney is getting more Mormons to hate him than Democrats.
You can bet your ass he's getting primaried. When is he up, in 2024?
Is it 24 or 22?
I couldn't tell you. I thought he ran in.
Oh yeah, he just won
in 2018.
I don't remember
right?
if that was a special election or if that was full term commander in thief. Yeah. Well, I think which is kind of sad because I liked Mitt Romney. I thought
2025.
Oh, it's 25. Okay.
So yeah, he was elected in 2018, was sworn in on January 3rd, 2019.
Yeah, so the election will be then, but no
wait, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it would be the 2020 election, sworn in or 2024, and then sworn in 2025.
Yeah. So
especially if Trump runs in 2024, you can bet your ass Mitt Romney's getting primary.
Oh, at this point, I tend to be very magnanimous about presidential choices and stuff like that. You know what? Trump pulls this off and he's able to hang on as president, which I hope he does. And there's a big chance he can. I typically don't like the idea of a political aristocracy or ruling families and stuff like that. But you know what? Don Jr. run. No. He can run as vice president and then get Kristi Noem as the top of the ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like that. I was thinking Nikki Haley, but I would like Kristi Noem actually better than Nikki Haley.
Nikki Haley was doing really good, but when the whole all the civil unrest started happening and stuff like that, she
fell silent or what?
No, she bought it hook, line, and sinker, and
really
she let out a statement that was just like so disappointing.
Kind of like Jo Jorgensen.
Yeah,
she did the same thing too. She's like, "Oh well, I don't stand with what the as an organization Black Lives Matter stands for, but I respect the right to peacefully protest." And yeah, I'm just like, oh my god.
Well, Jo Jorgensen, I mean, those people who. And it was never Trumpers and libertarians. I mean, the libertarians are so principled.
Yeah.
You know, we're on principle. We're principled conservatives. And it's like, okay, you understand that your principles may have cost you the ability to have a single libertarian thing done.
Libertarians are out for their guns. And literally, I'm so shell-shocked that the fact that it's been talked that Biden would put Beto O'Rourke, gun-grabbing Beto O'Rourke, on this commission to take away your guns or whatever, your AR-14s. I mean,
he can have my AR-14. I'll give that up.
I mean, if you look at like Wisconsin, if we had all, I mean, I think it was the same way like 2016. Gary Johnson, if all the votes went to Hillary Clinton or whatever, boom, Hillary Clinton would have won. Same thing here. If all of the votes for Jorgensen went to Trump, we would have won. I think she had 60,000 votes this time around.
Well, that's why they got Hillary. That's why they got the Green Party off the ballot.
Yep. That's why they got the Green Party out, and then Kanye too.
Yep.
Okay. Well, actually, no. That brings another thing. We need to figure out what's going on with our election commission too, because that's a fraud. The reason why Kanye was kicked off the ballot was because
17 seconds.
Republican, two of the supposed Republicans on the election commission voted with the Democrats to kick his butt off the ballot.
Yep, and the same thing with the Green Party. There was they never even investigated it. They just said they changed the rules as you go along, and it's always to benefit the Democrats because that's what they're beholden to.
Talk about voter suppression.
And I think the Green Party should join Trump in these legal challenges, because I think the fact that an entire party was literally, and Kanye was kind of a joke, but the entire Green Party was removed from the ballot.
Yeah.
So you just disenfranchised at least 30,000 people.
Yep. I mean, I used to do things with the Libertarian Party, like go to their outings and stuff like that.
I'm done with them.
Yeah. They're just as, if you want to, I mean, they're all about like just crapping on the two-party system. But when you get down to the thick of things and you actually talk to the grassroots of the Libertarian Party, they're just as partisan. they're just as partisan. They'll shit on you. Like they're all about like, oh well, if you want to vote third party, vote third party, and don't crap on others that want to vote third party, even though you want to say we're spoilers and stuff like that. When literally, like, I don't know, it's the whole third party libertarian movement. Just I bought it for a while, and then I'm just like, okay, if I'm gonna make my vote matter, I'm gonna go to the Republican Party because that more shares my values, obviously, than anything the Democratic Party regurgitates. So yeah.
Oh, I take Eric Trump too. I mean, these people. Don does not like Don Jr. That's all right. I just wanted Trump on the ticket. Why? Because it's like taking that knife and twisting it. I just want, and it may never happen.
Yeah,
but
no. After Trump, after the actual Donald John Trump, like I mean, unless it's like Ivanka, maybe like after 2024, possibly. Otherwise, I'm with you on that. I don't like, the dynasty. I'm not a fan like the Bush dynasty, Clinton dynasty, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but it bothers me because I don't know who has the intentional fortitude to fight the way Donald Trump has fought. I mean, he's set the bar pretty high. You can, I mean, even if he.
That's why Trump voters, Trump supporters have to pay attention to who will stand up for Trump right now, because those that will stand up for Trump right now, they're probably thinking into the future for either their reelection bid for the Senate, i.e. Lindsey Graham or Ted Cruz, or because they realize the base that Trump has awakened basically and know that they could capture that as, hey, I defended Trump when he had the election stolen from him in 2020. So, I mean, hey, it might be some long-term politics being played here, like I said, by Lindsey Graham or Cruz. So I think Cruz has changed a lot since when he ran in 2016. I definitely could get behind a Cruz bid.
I could. My only struggle with Cruz, he's a true believer. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
I just struggle. He's more of a hardline conservative, and I don't know I don't know if they could win a national election. He would struggle appealing to the blue collar folks and stuff like that Trump was able to appeal to, because Trump's not an ideologue, and I think that's what really helped him.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what it is, regardless of what happens, I mean, as I've seen all kinds of articles, Trump is here to stay regardless. You can bet your butt he's going to be out there. I heard his rallies are starting up relatively soon here again for like his legal stuff.
Oh, by the way, that reminds me. On Saturday, this is short notice, but on Saturday is the 14th. There is a MAGA rally at the mall in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. I would like to go to that if I can get off of work and go with somebody to split a hotel room. But other than that, I probably will have to pass. Otherwise, I would go.
Rally, D.C. Let's see. March for Trump. Yep, here we go. I'll put the link in the description here.
Apparently, there's a bunch of already counter protests that are being planned for that, too. Like the make sure every vote counts protest.
Well, Washington, D.C., yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to carry in D.C.
COVID's gone.
Yeah, COVID is gone. Isn't that a miracle?
Mm-hmm.
And have you noticed the Chiron image down on CNN and MSNBC? The body count for COVID-19 is no longer on there.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a miracle.
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
like they were trying to influence the election.
And then I'm sure you probably would make a conversation out of this or a segment out of this. Then you probably heard what Andrew Cuomo said today with the vaccine.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. Yeah. So obviously we got the good news today that I think not just one, but when he made his statement, it was I think it was Pfizer, that the vaccine that's going to be ready and available to distribute by the end of the year is 90% effective. Literally, this guy, Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, said, it's a good thing that the vaccine is 90% effective and will be available by the end of the year, but it's a bad thing that it happened during the Trump administration. It should have happened under the Biden administration. I wonder why, because they want to take credit for it. They don't want to give any ounce of credit for it. And look at that, just providing doubt on a vaccine that will be approved by the FDA more than likely.
And help thousands and thousands of people.
No, I mean, that just proves their narrative. Like, they'd rather have people locked up for two
And
more
die.
months and die for 2 more months than actually solve the damn problem.
And there's just some person, because they're basically Biden's talking, well, everybody's going to end up wearing a mask. And she's like, well, if he was going to do that, he's no different than what we're doing now. I don't want to, I regret voting for him. It's like, there are some people, I mean, at some point, I am all about get out the vote efforts and stuff like that. But there's some people who just, they have a right to vote, but some people just shouldn't vote.
There is sometimes you just can't cure stupid. I've learned that the hard way sometimes. But yeah, so I don't know, man. It's going to be a long few months, few weeks, few months. Not sure what's going to happen. Anything is game here, in my opinion.
Yep. Well, I think, and we have to fight. We have to get in the trenches. At least we got a president who will fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to go, he's not going to go quietly into the night. I mean, they're already talking that he's probably looking at buying a media company.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he's not going to be quiet.
Including CNN. By the way, here's that March for Trump information again. I had put it up there a few seconds ago. But he may even buy CNN because CNN is hilarious.
How hilarious would that be if if there's any shred of truth to that? I pardon my language, I will shit a brick. Like, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome if he buys CNN, the fake news network, and yeah, that would just be great. I would love that. And you can guarantee it. The ratings would skyrocket, would beat Fox News, MSLSD, and
he brings Sean Hannity over.
Yeah, I could see it. I really could see it. Tucker.
Oh,
Judge
yeah, that would be. Oh, I gotta pull this up. Hang on. Where is
where they canceled her show yesterday?
What? Who's that?
They canceled Judge Jeanine's show yesterday. They didn't air her show because she was being too pro-Trump and wanted to say it. Yeah, they canceled her show yesterday. Not like they just didn't air her show yesterday. She's still on Fox, but they just didn't air her show yesterday because she was like standing up for Trump and his legal battles or whatever. Yeah.
That
you didn't know that?
I didn't know that. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. Yep.
See, yeah, Fox, and that all comes down to that's Paul Ryan. He's on their board. That's Paul Ryan. He's nothing but a traitor, and he's a traitor to the country.
Mm-hmm.
Because his actions are effectively trying to. I mean, remember all the Fox polls? All of them were always Trump is behind by 30 points, and all of them.
So here it says Fox News has reportedly suspended Judge Jeanine Pirro because she wanted to expose voter fraud that she believes occurred during the 2020 election. Oh, wow. The report did not indicate what Fox was planning to do with Pirro's show, only saying that she was suspended for at least this weekend.
Wow.
LOL.
Yeah. Don't be so pro-Trump, darn it.
I just don't understand.
No, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Don, no, Ted Cruz did not support amnesty. he is not. Yeah. My issue with Cruz is that he reminds me too much of a TV evangelist. I just can't get over that image of him. I mean, he's softened that rhetoric a little bit. I actually wanted him to get nominated to the Supreme Court because I think he would be brilliant as a jurist.
Yeah, I think the Senate suits him better. I think he's gonna. Is he a chair in any of the committees? Do you know?
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I think that's why he wanted to stay in the Senate. He said there's more work for him in the Senate, and I mean, He's doing a lot of stuff with like the Blaze and the Daily Wire, like doing all kinds of podcasts with all them, and just getting more popularity through those channels. And hey, I think he looks all kinds of more badass with his facial hair. I mean, he just did not look manly enough to run for president when he had the clean shaven look. That was kind of no, thank you for me. Yeah. I mean, I voted for Cruz in the primary, but yeah, so
yeah. I ended up pulling the trigger for Trump. But here's Megyn Kelly. Okay, so Martina Navratilova says Trump is a racist and a misogynist. Surely that is enough. Pointing out the facts are not demonization. And Megyn Kelly, she's no Trump fan, mind you. Megyn Kelly says, Martina, the vitriol went well beyond Trump. Some 70 million people have been called vile bigots, racists, and xenophobes, and are being threatened with being put on a target list as punishment for supporting him. They've been demonized by the very people who now sanctimoniously demanding civility. I was like, oh my gosh, I saw that. Now
no hashtag resist, dude.
Yeah. That was
yeah. Megyn Kelly's been on fire today on Twitter. She's been clapping back at a bunch of people. It's been good to see.
Yeah, and she's being, she basically says, I have my personal issues with Donald Trump, but when something's wrong, it's just wrong. And I know several of my Democrat friends that are actually, they think he should be fighting this as well. They don't think it's going to change anything, but they acknowledge that their side would be fighting it.
Yeah, you would think. But it's 2020. Nothing goes as planned, right?
We all knew it would be a shit show.
We all were thinking a 269 tie was going to happen. I mean, hell, maybe it still will happen. Who knows, dude? Oh, yeah. My.
Well, actually, Tucker, Shannon is saying, dang, there's no she were online. But Lou Dobbs doesn't care. He bashed Fox, MSM, Fish, and everybody else tonight. That's awesome. But even Tucker Carlson said when
he took a jab at Neil Cavuto today.
Basically not showing footage.
Not indirectly, or whatever. Yeah, not indirectly, but you can bet your ass that was a shot at him, at Neil.
Yep. And I hope, I want the outcome. I want Trump to win this. I want him to come out victorious. Yeah. I want it to be done rightly. I think he's got a lot of evidence, but the Supreme Court has to decide the remedy.
Pennsylvania, I'm 99.9% sure that's going to get taken. I mean, you wouldn't get a second order, like repetition of the same order they gave. What was it, like 2 weeks or a week before the election from
Roberts.
Supreme Court? Was it? No, not Roberts. No, I'm talking about the segregation of the ballots or whatever. Where they're supposed to segregate the ballots that come in after. So yeah, Alito like restated that like 2 days ago. Said you better be doing this, and I mean he would not come out as an associate Supreme Court justice if they weren't going to take up the case, or at least they didn't have 4 justices that were considering taking up the case.
Oh, they're going to take the case. They actually have to. There is no they can't not to take the case because there's no lower court ruling to fall back on. They have to take the case. And I don't know how many of them are going to be done in like Arizona Circuit Court or Pennsylvania or Michigan. And it's weird because all we keep hearing about is Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
But there's other suits happening.
Yeah, Nevada's a big one.
Michigan's
a big one. Those are the 3 big ones.
In Wisconsin, I those 20,000 votes get overturned.
I don't know if there's. Well, hey, I was actually just checking. Eric Trump just retweeted the article that you showed at the beginning of the podcast or the beginning of the stream.
Oh, the Gateway Pundit one.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Eric Trump just retweeted that 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Eric. I didn't know you watched my show. Would that be cool? Yeah. He's welcome to come on. Private message me, Eric. I'll let you do it.
That would be slick.
Yeah, and then here it goes. Real clear. Oh yeah, that is huge. Real clear politics took off
Well,
Pennsylvania
I'm hearing that they never even called it. I mean, I know I sent you that,
Mhm.
and everyone's been saying it tonight, but
No, they
after
called it. They had
they
it.
did call it,
Uh-huh.
okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah.
because I was hearing some conflicting reports that they never called it. And then I heard other reports that
Everybody
they did.
called it. I checked everything. The only one who didn't call it was Newsmax and One America News. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
one that scares me, Clarence Thomas both have a score to settle with Biden and Harris.
And
Well, especially Harris.
What's also interesting, I heard that both or all three of them, or maybe it was all four of them, at least Barrett, Kavanaugh, and John Roberts were all on Bush's litigation team when Bush v. Gore was happening.
Well, cross my fingers.
For Robert, cross your fingers, right?
Yeah, I forgot about Kavanaugh. I was concerned about Kavanaugh. Roberts, I don't know if he'll probably screw us, but I was concerned about
Gorsuch,
Kavanaugh, and I forgot about that.
Alito, Gorsuch, and Barrett, I think, are probably confirmed votes on whatever. And Thomas,
and Thomas. Yeah, so we just have to get
Kavanaugh. Yeah,
it'd be nice to get Roberts too, and I hope he does the right thing because he's hot and cold, but this is too important.
Yep.
But then again, so was Obamacare, but I don't know.
Oh, did you see Cindy McCain is on Biden's transitionary advisory board?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cindy McCain, you can go suck an egg.
Yeah,
Nevada is having more trouble counting. Nevada having more trouble counting than Marines do.
Let's see. So
happy birthday, Marines. All right.
I'm just going to do the vote total for Nevada right now.
Yeah. Ted Cruz served in the Foreign Relations Judiciary Canadian Subcommittee on Constitution, Civil Rights, Human Rights. Ooh, that's good memory. Yeah, I don't trust Roberts, but and obviously I'm hoping that all the evidence points to them doing the right thing. I don't want them just to do the right thing because of a partisan reason.
Yeah. So it's a 36,000 vote gap in Nevada.
36? Wow, went way up.
670,344 to 634,158, 97% reporting.
Yeah. But why can't these people be done? I mean, they're doing a disservice to the country.
I mean, dude, Nevada, literally, we're talking maybe 1.5 to 2 million votes total, and you can't get that crap in 6 damn days.
Las Vegas and Reno. The rest of the state is sparsely populated.
Yeah.
And Alaska. What's with Alaska? It's like, okay, I get there's some,
like a 62-35% lead or whatever.
Yeah, and it's just like there's a Senate seat there, which obviously is going to go Republican as well. So that puts the Senate at 49-48.
Burgess Owens down 2,000 in the House.
What's that?
Burgess Owens, the guy running for that Utah seat.
Mm-hmm.
He's down 2,000 right now. CNN's calling 217 for the Democrats and 201 for the Republicans right now, with all kinds of Republicans leading in California and upstate New York, which is really awesome. Wow.
They have
go ahead.
They have us at 217?
No, they have Democrats at 217. We're 201.
Oh, okay.
Wow, we're literally 40 votes shy in this Iowa 2 seat. 40 votes.
And for all the crackpots who say your vote doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's about it for tonight. So we'll see how everything shakes out. It's going to be an interesting couple of days here.
No, it's going to be longer than that, bud. You
Yes,
can
it
bet
will.
your ass this is going all the way to December. Unless they throw out the cases, you can bet your ass it's going to December or
Yeah. No, yeah. Al Gore, it
37
was
days.
36 days.
Yep,
36 days, I think, and then I think he finally conceded at 41. And that was one state. And
right? Yeah.
so this is potentially 8 different states, if not more. I could imagine I could see Trump going after Virginia.
Do you give credence though to what we were talking about, like in private message before, of like the state legislatures actually, like if you can't do anything with the vote tally, but there is proven to be all kinds of fraud or whatever, that these state legislatures would withhold their electoral votes, because I know that there's some that have laws for faithless electors, whereas if you tried voting for somebody else, you just get canned, and they put in somebody else that would vote the right way for the popular vote or whatever. Do you give any credence to that, or do you think that it has like zero chance of happening?
Well, some of the strict constitutionalists will say, yes, there's no credence to it. It's not the way it works. But honestly,
I think if any state should do it, I think Pennsylvania should.
Yep.
If the fraud is so massive, again, where they like, it all depends what the Supreme Court does. Because I mean, don't quote me on this, but I'm fairly certain in what I've done in terms of the digging that I've done during the Bush v. Gore arguments. That was like people were asking for like a revote of the state or whatever. And I think one of the arguments, I'm not sure who the justice was, but one of the arguments was, no, we can't do that. Like, that's not how this works. But then they provided that as a potential remedy where, okay, your state legislature, the state legislature has the ability through the Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, to appoint its own electors, and they can vote any which way they want to vote. So if that's one way to have that be your remedy, okay, then do that. That's what I believe the Supreme Court ruled in Bush v. Gore, one of the arguments, one of the opinions.
Yeah. Well, it'll be it. Yeah, it's a good. I mean, I think it's a pipe dream, and then the Democrats are that's so un-American. You were trying to do the same thing in 2016.
Force it to get to the House of Representatives, like we were saying. Also,
I think ultimately that's going to be the ultimate outcome.
But I also heard today, I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but I heard that. So if Pennsylvania were to do what I said, it's literally a Hail Mary pass at this point. If that happens, so say, no one gets to 270 and it all goes up to the Congress, the joint session of Congress, where they're trying to do the tally of the votes. I heard that if there's split decisions from the House, so a majority of the House votes one way and the majority of the Senate votes one way, like in terms of deciding which slate of electors is the right slate of electors, it then goes to the governor of the state, which is Tom Wolf, the Democrat, the piece of shit. So I heard that might not even be a possible remedy, because
the only remedy would ultimately be a House vote, and they get one vote per state delegation in the House, and that would be.
How does that get triggered again? Only if one side doesn't get to 270, and
it's by January 20th.
Because I'm wondering if like, just saying, I wouldn't say, go ahead and do this. Like you said, we don't want to be partisans here, but I'm wondering if that's at all floating around in the Trump campaign, where since this is, multiple states, not just like 20 or 2000 with Florida, since it is 8 states and the litigation might take forever, could we just wait off the clock?
Yeah, but the Constitution is very specific. The legislatures make the call.
Yeah.
On electors. And the only thing I could see is that there's no way to determine the winner. We need the Supreme Court will then defer to the Congress, or they're going to say that only there's a couple of ways it could go. Okay. One way is the electoral votes stand as they are.
Yeah.
Biden wins with 270. Or they could say only the ballots through November 3rd count. and then Trump wins. Or they say we can't make, there's not enough, there's
Nobody
too
gets-
many questions of fraud that negates this election. We can't make a decision. And that's when it goes to the House at that point.
Yeah, well,
And if they can't come up with a winner for whatever reason, if they can't come up with a winner by March the 4th is the deadline in the 12th Amendment. March the 4th is kind of that point where the current sitting vice president becomes the president.
so, but
There's
this
no scenario where the speaker becomes.
right. So this all hinges though on Georgia also flipping or continuing to stay right, because right now it's blue, but that's what this hinges on basically. I mean, I'm hearing there's tons of irregularities in Chatham County and Fulton County too. So I mean, Brian Kemp tweeted today that he's still adamant that once all the legal votes are counted, Georgia is going to go Republican or whatever. So I mean, I would trust the governor and all the House candidates that are in Georgia. I mean, they're all saying the same thing. So
What's his name with the glasses? He's doing it. Yeah, it's so complicated because the Constitution is so, like Nick is saying, December 14th is a drop dead date. That's the Electoral College date. But if the electors aren't seated, and that's where I would call upon our state legislature, if you don't have the stomach to just appoint Republican electors, then
yeah, because Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are one of the only states where there is no penalty for faithless electors.
Oh, there is. Okay, so then in that case, we need to have.
So we could have a Republican slate. They could have a Republican slate, and yeah,
but some of them might not have the stomach to do that.
Right.
So the other option then would be to just not seat the electors.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't seat any electors, there's too many questions up in the air. Then nobody gets a 270.
Well, I thought there was a provision or something where if you get to this deadline and the state can't figure it out, I mean, the electoral votes are just forfeited, period. Like they're just forfeited.
Yeah, there's no precedent for it. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. The only time
there's 2020, dude. Wait, there's been all kinds of things where we've been just setting new precedents in this year.
Yeah, no kidding.
So why not? Let's take a new one.
Well, and that's the whole thing. That the court can determine what it means.
Yeah,
by ruling. And that's ultimately going to be what happens. They're going to set the precedent. There was one time where the vote went to the Congress. That was 18 something, where neither candidate got the. It wasn't 270 at the time. It was like 130 or whatever. Neither of them got the 50% plus one. So the vote had to go to Congress.
You said that.
Pardon?
I said I was watching your live stream yesterday when you said that. You said the same thing, didn't you? The 135 or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when I was standing outside in the middle of the park.
Yeah, people walk up on you like, "What the hell are you doing?"
People are so flippant rude. They couldn't go around. They had to come right. They see I'm doing something. I did that. I was actually by the river. Right. And I was doing that, and these people started going across. They had the entire flipping Menominee River. No, they come right across from me, and the kids are making noise, and they're splashing in the water.
I would have been like, nope, stopping my stream. I'm going to wait till these guys go. I'm not talking politics around other people right now.
That's what they didn't look that scary, and I stood my ground. I said, come on through. I was nice.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. So...
Oh, interesting. Nick is saying recently had a ruling on faithless electors.
It was close to unanimous, I think. He is
on
right.
What was that ruling? What was the context? I don't know about that.
I'm pulling it up right now. It was just recent too.
Nick, fill me in.
Court rules state faithless electors laws constitutional. This was July 6, 2020. U.S. Supreme Court has unanimously upheld laws across the country that remove or punish rogue electoral delegates who refuse to cast their votes for presidential candidate they were pledged to support. The decision Monday was a loss for, quote, faithless electors, end quote, who argued that under the Constitution they have discretion to decide which candidate to support. Writing for the court, Justice Elena Kagan in the decision, peppered with references to the Broadway show, blah, 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 said electoral college college delegates have, quote, no ground for reversing, end quote, the statewide popular vote that, she said, quote, accords with the Constitution as well with the trust of the nation that here we the people rule, end quote. The decision was a relief to election law experts as well as Democratic and Republican Party officials who have long supported faithless elector laws such as those upheld Monday.
But you have to have a faithless elector law in order for that to apply.
Yeah, right.
Yep. So, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, right now, tomorrow, we might know more about Pennsylvania. Right now, and who knows, maybe enough of the votes will change in states like Wisconsin and Wisconsin, Arizona.
I don't know when they're doing their canvas. All I know is I'm volunteering for the 14th. I volunteered. I'm volunteering for that. I'm telling wherever they want me to go. I'm like, no, you put me in Milwaukee because I want to see this 169,000 3 a.m. dump.
Yep.
So I can canvas that crap.
After they stopped counting and people went home.
Right.
Republican observers went home. Not that we had that many.
They did that in every stronghold. In every state.
That was by design. It was the Voter Integrity Project where they talked about that specific thing. If Trump is pulling ahead, stop counting.
Why don't we do the same damn shit? Like, seriously.
But that was their plan B. That basically means if Trump is ahead, we've got to execute the plan.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that our election system definitely needs some reform. If not, it needs a massive overhaul.
It needs to be reconstitutionalized.
Yeah, I mean, just pass a simple amendment where if you can't count, if you can't tally your votes into the tabulator, and they can't be shown as the results on the Secretary of State website by such and such time, like 3 a.m. the day following, on election night or whatever, shouldn't count. The vote shouldn't count anything after that fact.
Yeah, Christine's saying that it all shut down. Yes, that's the whole thing. It shut down. The counting shut down. And then suddenly
there's literally someone that under a sworn affidavit that is witnessing, I think it's Detroit, cars that had out-of-state license plates that are coming in with boxes of tens of thousands I'm talking
suitcases.
A sworn affidavit. I mean, that's a big allegation, and to put your damn name to it, I mean, shit. Yeah. I mean,
I think this is going to be a long fight. That's what I mean. The Electoral College will not be voting on the 14th of December. I guarantee that.
I just don't know how, you keep track of this. Where's the chain of custody for all this? That's what I want to know. Where's the chain of custody?
And by the way, there's nothing that says that President Trump or Joe Biden, for that matter, there's nothing that says they have to concede.
Yeah.
They don't have to concede. This can drag out for a while.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
But the founding fathers thought of that as well. There is, that's what the provision is. That's why it can go to congressional vote.
Yep. There has to be a president come January 20th at noon, regardless of who it is.
Yeah. Well, and that'll be.
There can't be acting President Pelosi. That's that's a nothing burger.
Well, it would be during the counting of the. They would have a vote, and if nobody gets to 270, then she remains the interim president until March 4th. If they keep on having votes and they still can't get to 270,
is it the
not 270? If they still can't get the majority or whatever,
is this
which, by the way, it could end up being none of the above if it does go to vote in Congress, it could be two totally different people.
Right. Well, I was just wondering for the vice president, if that were to happen, obviously it probably wouldn't, but with the vice president, does that go to the Senate pro tempore or whatever? Would Chuck Grassley be the vice president? Or
no, the current sitting vice president will still become the president. I think it's March 4th.
I thought you were talking about if Pelosi was the interim, who would be the vice president then? That was my question. I
don't know. Yeah, it might be Grassley.
don't quote me on this, but I think it goes to the Senate pro tempore, whatever, which would be Chuck Grassley at the time. But more, you know, I might be wrong too.
Yeah,
But
I don't. There's some convoluted things in there, and there is going to have to be. I mean, there's some things that can't be answered by the Constitution that the Supreme Court is going to have to address. There is no punting on this, and
like they did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, with the whole thing of Pennsylvania being allowed to have ballots show up until 6 days later or whatever like that. But then for Wisconsin, Roberts is with Wisconsin, and Wisconsin said you have to have it by election day.
I do not get the punting on that because, I mean, yeah, like you said, he ruled the way he did for Wisconsin, but then ruled this way for this, which I don't understand because, I mean, this one is more blatant. Pennsylvania is more blatant, where literally the state Supreme Court of Pennsylvania circumvented the damn legislature, the whole legislature. I mean, the legislature is what creates the election laws, not the state Supreme Court. So, I mean, these deadline rules and all that jargon, like that should have been thrown out entirely. I mean, and it's going to get thrown out. I mean, when the Supreme Court rules, they will rule against those extensions. But the $1 million question is, whenever a court takes up a case, what they're going to ask is, what do you want? Like, as the party that's filing this case, what will be your remedy? What would you like to see happen to remedy the situation? And that's, like I said, the $1 million question. What would you say is the $1 million question? To throw out all $600,000 or all 600,000 ballots that were not counted by the end of election night? I mean, are we really going to? That's the tough trigger that the Supreme Court or the Supreme Court's going to have to pull. Do we potentially disenfranchise some legal voters of that 600,000 votes that were in, or do we just say the hell with it and invalidate all 600,000 votes?
And that's going to be the hard part, because they will disenfranchise people no matter what, because there are going to be a lot of Republicans in there too. But
that scares me.
In the end, who knows?
We are in the midst of I mean, everyone's been saying all these last 4 years with Trump, constitutional crisis. We are in a constitutional crisis right now.
Their quest for power has caused this, including all the collusion with the media and the polling and all that stuff. That was all in cahoots with each other to try to unseat Donald Trump. Okay, beat him on the issues and have a candidate who's not in the first stages of Alzheimer's. All right, I got to run. So we will talk later. Thank you, Charles, for joining me.
Anytime.
And definitely have you on again. I'm sure we'll be having more conversations coming up. But as soon as tonight, probably. Anyway.
Possibly. I need to refresh my Twitter feed to see what comes up.
All right. Have an awesome night, everybody. Have a great night, Charles. Thanks for joining me.
Bye-bye.
We'll talk soon. All right. That was Charles. Thank you for joining me. And thank you guys for participating as always. Sorry, I just got a frog in my throat or what have you. So we'll see how everything turns out, because there's a lot more questions than answers right now. And like I said, be patient. It's going to take time. So, all right. I will talk to you soon. Have an awesome, amazing night. Bye.